الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لم تقولون ما لا تفعلون
to present the message from the Prime Minister of Pakistan. His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Yusuf Junaid to share his thoughts on this happy occasion.
It's a great honor and privilege for me to welcome you all to Pakistan House on this very auspicious occasion when we are celebrating the 78th Independence Day of Pakistan. When we are rejoicing in this extremely joyful moment, and when we are celebrating the Marka-e-Haq, which was a very recent event, it's a time when we have to reflect why Pakistan came into existence. What was the need of formation of a country called Pakistan? As we are all aware that the subcontinent was ruled by Muslims for 400 years, even more. And when the Muslim rule of the Mughal Empire finished, the British Empire took over and the subcontinent became a colony of the British. And there, the division between the two major segments of society which were inhabiting that part of the world came into a very clear divide. Muslims had their own culture, they had their own religion, they believed in one God, they had their own principles, and Hindus had a multi-god system, they had their own beliefs and their own customs. When the Muslims had ruled, the justice was the word. But after the British Empire was crumbling, when the essence of independence was becoming more and more pronounced in the subcontinent, there was another wave or another aspect which was also emerging, that the subcontinent will never be the same. It will never be a place where the two communities would be able to live harmoniously because one community was in majority. And that community was not willing to be a democratic system. Many debates were held, roundtable conferences were held, many subjects were discussed, but it was the acumen and it was the great leadership of Quaid-e-Azam, which and Allama Iqbal, and to some extent Sayyid Ahmad Khan, and so many others like Liaquat Ali Khan, who saw very clearly what is behind the walls, what is there which is to be seen, which is not visible. And that is how the theory of two nations was propounded. That is how the theory of two nations came into existence, and it was propelled. It was a very simple theory that these two communities are distinct entities and they do not see eye to eye to each other in terms of social, cultural, religious, and linguistic aspects. So the only solution to live in peace is to have two states. It was an arduous battle. It was a very difficult task. First to convince the Britishers and then to even talk to the Hindu counterparts. But the leadership of Allama Iqbal and Quaid-e-Azam and many other leaders continued to press for this demand, and finally it was agreed that India would be partitioned and Pakistan and India would come into existence on 14th and 15th August. Pakistan came into existence on 14th, India came into existence on 15th. The whole aspect was very clear, but unfortunately the process of migration became a very cruel and a bloodbath. It was one of the biggest migrations in the modern history, which was not at all peaceful, which saw thousands and hundreds of thousands of people die. People paid a price for their religion, for their culture, and for their own separate entity. And finally, they were able to reach Pakistan, but after paying a very huge price. Many families, thousands of families lost their dear ones. Rapes were there, murders were there, amputations were there. Whatever atrocities you can talk about, they all happened. Life moved on. However, Alhamdulillah, by the grace of God, ever since its independence in 1947, Pakistan continued to move forward in its way of progress. It continued to deliver what had been promised by its leaders. We continued to march forward. The meager resources which were handed over to us at the time of partition were not even there for 6 months' sustenance. But Alhamdulillah, we, with the will of the people who were living at that time and through their brotherhood, were able to prevail upon these hardships and move forward. And today, Pakistan, Alhamdulillah, stands as a very important nation in the Committee of the Nations, which I'm very proud to say has now come to a level of the 24th largest economy in the world, 7th nuclear power in the world, and we have a very definitive role in international relations, not only in the region, but across the whole globe. When we look at the achievements of some of our people, they are remarkable. Despite the very fact that the infrastructure was not there, we were able to construct dams. We were able to move on with the infrastructure development. The roads were built. And today, Pakistan, every corner has a cemented road. The electricity problem which was there is over. And the fertilizer problem which is over. Agriculture has started to grow on a robust level. And if you look at the last 1 year performance of the present government, the remarkable results are evident to all of us. Because once we put our resolve to do a thing in a right way, it is doable, and this government has shown that things can be done. Our foreign exchange reserves, which were precarious a few years back, are now at a very stable level. Every 3-4 months, the international rating agencies are increasing the rating of Pakistan. Just 2 days back, Moody's enhanced the rating of Pakistan. Foreign exchange remittances are at the highest level. Exports are touching the highest level in the history. And we are on a path of progress. Ladies and gentlemen, whenever we talk of Pakistan's independence, Pakistan's prosperity, Pakistan's growth, there is one word which is synonymous with it, and that is Kardesh. And Kardesh means Turkey. Since the independence of Pakistan, Turkey has been a steadfast friend. We did whatever we could do during the Khilafat movement, during the Crimea War, which is like 100 years back, 120 years back, because it was our duty as a Muslim brotherhood. And we did whatever we could do, despite the very fact that we were at that time under the British tutelage. But we supported our brothers and sisters in Turkey to the maximum possible extent. And Turkey always stood by us whenever we needed, be it the earthquake in Muzaffarabad, be it the floods in 2010 and 2022, or the wars that we fought. Even during the recent war, the support which was given by the people and the government of Turkey was a remarkable one. Whenever we heard that we are with our brothers in Pakistan, it used to give us a new energy, a new vitality.
Pakistan, its heritage, its struggle, and its spirit.
Tabii Pakistan hepimiz için çok kıymetli, çok önemli. Herhalde Türkiye'de Pakistan'ı sevmeyen kimse yoktur. Tıpkı Pakistan'da Türkiye'yi sevmeyen kimse olmadığı gibi. Pakistan'ın sadece önemli bir ekonomi, endüstri, tarım ülkesi değil, aynı zamanda önemli bir savunma ülkesi olduğu da ortaya çıktı. Türkiye'de nasıl ki İsrail'in bu soykırımını, bu katliamını, bu acımasızlığını bütün dünyaya anlatıyorsak, Pakistanlı kardeşlerimiz de Pakistan Başbakanı Sayın Şahbaz Şerif başta olmak üzere Dışişleri Bakanı ile bütün yetkililerle onlar da İsrail'in bu soykırımını, bu katliamını durdurulması gerektiğini bütün platformlarda çok net bir şekilde dile getiriyorlar. Ama gelin görün ki Batı bu konuda ileride kendi çocuklarına, kendi torunlarına cevap veremeyecek kadar bir utanç içerisindedir. Biz Pakistan'da bugüne kadar birlikte hamdolsun güzel şeyler yaptık. 1947 ve öncesi Osmanlı hilafetinden bugüne kadar Pakistan bizi hiç yalnız bırakmadı. Biz de Pakistan'ı hiç yalnız bırakmayacağız diyorum. Tekrar Ceşni Azadi, Independence Day veya Bağımsızlık Günü kutlu olsun diyor. Hepinizi saygı ve hürmetle selamlıyorum.